All right, good morning, folks. It is May 14th, 2024, and we are going to get you guys a full update on the financial markets and cryptocurrency. Now, we're specifically going to be talking about some growth happening on the XRP ledger, of course, and it never stops. And in fact, I feel like it's ramping up right now with developer and validators now being added by institutions. This is not Joe Blow in his basement running some validators, sending some transactions through the ledger. This is institutions showing up, setting up shop, and we absolutely love to see it. While the rest of the space has been blown up on fake hype, manias, and nonsense, just like we're seeing with the GameStop saga here once again, right? We have fundamental utilities that we continue to see growing over here in our XRP ledger ecosystem. Fundamental utilities continue to grow in the commodity space, gold and silver. And then we're looking at undervalued companies that are being overlooked while everybody's looking over here at GameStop, and that's a lot of fun. And have at it. That's a good time. For me, the long-term fundamental value investing strategy seems to be the most proven. Speculating and gambling on the memes seems to win you every once in a while. But what's being exposed right now is just how rigged the casino is. More on that in 1 second, but we did get an important economic data point this morning. That would be the wholesale inflation data, the PPI, Producer Price Index. And I'm going to show you this article right here from MarketWatch. Wholesale inflation surges again. PPI shows leaving inflation still sticky. U.S. Producer Price Index climbed stronger than expected, 0.5% in April. Now, this does have that trickle-down effect. If the wholesale producer price is going up, that is a that often foretells future inflation trends. The increase in wholesale prices over the past 12 months rose to 2.2% in April from 1.8% in the prior month and hit the highest level in a year. So that word sticky. Yeah, we still got some sticky inflation, don't we? The truth of the matter is if you understand the Fed, their policy, the levers that they're working with, and how this economic data actually plays out, you knew that we weren't even close to beating inflation. We weren't close to 2%. We did get, well, relatively speaking, we got close to 2% when you're comparing it from going from 9% back down to 3%. That's pretty close. But we weren't able to finish it off, and we see that it wasn't enough. Now inflation's starting to climb back up for the past few months. More on that tomorrow when we get the CPI lie. We'll be covering that more in depth. Now, short sellers of GameStop and AMC are down 3.5 billion today. This puts the 2-day short seller losses at 5 billion. Now, GameStop was halted 9 times yesterday. And it was just halted about 15 minutes ago. The market's already opened up. I'm recording this. It's about 7 o'clock on the West Coast. Markets have been opened up here for a little bit now, and we already halted it once again. So it was halted 9 times yesterday. Another one today. We are wiping out 5 billion in the last 2 days of losses for short sellers, and they're trying to recapture this. This morning on CNBC, Jay Clayton was hitting it, talking about how the government might have to intervene, about how this is not good. And to me, it just reiterates the point that this casino is rigged. And I'm talking about the stock market casino, right? Now, we can debate till the sun comes up tomorrow whether the stock market or the crypto exchanges are more rigged, more manipulated, right? I would argue that the crypto is just as equally with more leverage. So you get it even a little bit more crazy over here in crypto. But nonetheless, I'm not investing in GameStop or AMC, even though, yeah, it kind of is entertaining to watch. I'm not showing up to the rigged casino. I might come to the casino for the steakhouse dinner, but then I'm getting out. They can take my funny fiat money for a nice steak, and I'll see you later. Okay, I'll let everybody else gamble at that rigged casino. Now, you guys let me know in the comments down below if you're playing this meme stock craze or if you're letting it pass by. Now, what would solve this is tokenizing all of our stock market and all the derivatives, and that is where this is going. And we're starting to see CEOs from traditional finance and from the old world start to show up and recognize that this is the solution. One institution is Franklin Templeton that has stepped in to this. They've already launched tokenized mutual funds on the Stellar network. We know that. But then if you recall this one, Franklin Templeton CEO states that all ETF and mutual funds will be tokenized onto blockchains. They are currently using Stellar. Wisdom trees also showed up and tokenized on Stellar as well. And this would solve this. This would show us who's short, who's long, who actually holds a position, who doesn't. This is the transparency that we need in these markets. And it's, one would wonder, maybe they're halting the growth and, adoption of DLT because they're not ready to go full transparent. They're not ready to show you what they actually hold, what their positions actually are, right? Nonetheless, what we're starting to see is the old world institutions are getting themselves a position. Swiss bank UBS, the largest bank in Switzerland, discloses it holds shares in BlackRock's spot Bitcoin ETF. There was another one too. I forget which one it was. There's been about about a dozen in the last week that have came out and disclosed, including JP Morgan. Remember, they were talking it down. It's only for criminal activity. It's bad, bad, bad. Meanwhile, let's pick up a bag. Meanwhile, let's be the custodians for these ETFs. Let's make sure we make our money. We don't care if it's real, fake, for criminal, for bad. We're going to make our money. And that's been how they've showed up in the space here. Wall Street doing what Wall Street does. They control the market maker, magicians behind the scenes that have control of these markets. They talk down positions while they're loading up. And, I'll just say it right here. I think that you're about to see some of these institutions announce positions in other cryptocurrencies, not just spot, ETF positions, but actual just, adding it to their balance sheets. And what we've seen, I just interviewed the CEO of Uphold, Simon McLaughlin, and he said that Ripple is partnered with major institutions. And the ones that Uphold is working with on on-demand liquidity are household names. So this is no joke, guys. They are coming in a major way. And I want to play this clip here. This is Ripple's Bradley Chase, who is vice president of engineering at Ripple X, outlining how tokenization is benefiting their customers. And I want you guys to hone in on the fact that they say their customers want to, one of the ways that they can get onboarded is through holding stablecoins. And obviously Ripple is planning on launching their stablecoin here soon.
Mostly plus one, not a lot of disagreement on this. I guess the angle I could share just from Ripple's enterprise software offerings and kind of how we're seeing tokenization trends from our customers. So one, our biggest offering is a cross-border payments product called Ripple Payments. Share DNA with Stellar in many ways. So, also, can send funds and settle globally in 3 seconds. Those customers now have their own customers that want to pay in stable coins, and they want to hold those stable coins. So that's kind of the simplest on and off ramp gateway for them into the space.
The simplest on and off ramp for them into the space. And this is why that strategic partnership with Uphold was so critical, is Uphold is working with dozens of exchanges. They're not a crypto exchange. They're more similar to a prime broker working with dozens of exchanges, market makers, and liquidity providers to be able to source that. And they have the on-ramp and off-ramp connections to the traditional finance world. This is how you bring institutions into crypto. It's one thing to talk about, we need to tokenize all this. Well, how do you actually do it? What's so interesting about this Ripple versus SEC case is we're about to get one of the only legitimate use cases for crypto, and I'm providing my subjective opinion about it being one of the only legitimate uses for cryptocurrency and one of the only legitimate business models that we've seen play out successfully. That's Ripple's on-demand liquidity product. If the judge signs off on this in the final ruling in the case and doesn't issue an injunction on ODL sales, and despite, depending on how she words her ruling and the penalty that she offers up, if ODL gets signed off and checked off, we will now have the legal precedent and the legal sign off on one of the few, I'll just say one of the few legitimate, business use cases that is actually being applied right now, that's actually in use for billions of dollars. Not just a theory that's being talked about, not just a crypto project that's consulting someone, but actual money flows moving, and that's about to get signed off, and that's about to open up the U.S. on-demand liquidity corridor as well. CEO of Uphold, Simon, said that they're already live with partners in the UK and Europe, but they're about to be going live in the U.S. soon. There you go. Now, I want to get into this XRP ledger. The growth right now that we're seeing, it's every single day for the last week. We've seen new partners coming out, new validators showing up. We had SBI show up. We had a group out of Korea, South Korea, show up yesterday. it's just been like one after another showing up and saying, hey, we're running validators, we're running infrastructure, we're getting a deal done. And I wanted to highlight, we got a couple more that came out just this morning as well. This is an old one first though, but I want to show you this. Unlock the power of XRP NFTs in your Shopify store. Distribute NFTs to your customer without needing any wallet or any cryptocurrency. Unlock exclusive products and discounts to the NFT holders. This is from Amora app. Shopify app for token gating and loyalty using XRP NFTs. And they won a grant from Ripple. Okay. And now they say merchants don't need a wallet, but customers do. The problem that we're seeing, right? The customer needs 10 XRP minimum. To open up an XRP wallet, you need 10 XRP. Now, 10 XRP doesn't cost you much these days, but relatively speaking, for people around the world, it actually is quite a bit. So the process of onboarding these clients and these customers to the XRP ledger, some have reported it as being difficult because of that minimum, okay? Well, we're now starting to see answers here. Now, the customers in this case still need wallets, but the merchant doesn't. Now, this is a real business use case where you can go up to a business merchant and say, hey, you onboard this app, you don't need to hold crypto, you don't need the wallet, you don't need anything. You just have them scan the QR for your product, and then it's handled on the back end. This is the type of solutions that are showing up, and I want you to see there's a clear divide between a bunch of complainers in the building developer space that just sit around and complain and, oh, why hasn't Ripple given me $1 million yet? And then there are others who are leaning in, providing solutions, and go figure, Ripple is rewarding them with big grants because they're showing and proving a technology and a product that actually works to onboard new people. This is very important. Now, furthermore, we are seeing this growth with Persist, who's developed the EVM sidechain. We got a couple big ones coming out of Persist in the EVM. This is from Catalyze Research. We are thrilled to announce our partnership with the technology company Persist, who is building the EVM sidechain for the XRP ledger. Through this partnership, we will closely collaborate with Persist, participating as accredited validators to expand the XRP Ledger ecosystem in Korea while enhancing transparency, stability, scalability as validators. So another partner validator coming in here and getting a deal done. Love to see it. Now, Persist just announced this morning as well. We are very proud and excited to join forces with Evmos org team to get the Ripple X XRP Ledger EVM sidechain ready for mainnet. That's right, folks. It's about to go live. Full interoperability with Cosmos, IBC protocol, and Ethereum EVM, having XRP as a native currency supporting cheap, efficient, and fast transactions with 1 billion 24-hour volume. Wow. I didn't realize that they'd already done 1 billion in 24-hour volume. And so this is just in testing, right? This hasn't even gone live on mainnet yet. And you're already seeing the partners start to roll in. You're already starting to see the folks come in. Even Charles Hoskinson in a space a couple weeks ago was talking about how he wanted to work with XRP Ledger developers for interoperability as well. And Charles is probably just looking for more people to get into Cardano, right? Like any project founder, right? But nonetheless, there is a tremendous amount of developer activity from smaller developers all the way up to big institutions coming into the XRP Ledger. And like I've been saying, we're finally giving the developers the tools to build the masterpiece. All we had was cheap, fast, and efficient payments. Now we have our NFTs. Now we got AMM. Now we're going to get cross-chain bridge, EVM sidechain, decentralized identity. We already got clawbacks. We're about to get payment remit. We're about to get on-chain lending. All of this happening at the protocol level where it's not a layer 2 smart contract, where the SEC has a choke point to come in and sue somebody, like the Uniswap AMM. Our AMM's protocol level, completely different. And there's also another amendment that I want to talk about furthermore in another episode. As far as onboarding people, I forget what the amendment's going to be called, but basically you'll be able to cover that 10 XRP minimum reserve for someone so they won't have to bring any money to the table. If you want to give somebody something for free, you want to give them a free NFT, well, they need 10 XRP to open up an XRP wallet, right? Well, we're going to start to see solutions, and there's an amendment that's being considered right now that would allow basically an issuer, an NFT marketplace, a storefront, or somebody on the back end, right, to cover that fee to be able to onboard the client. There's also talks of lowering the reserve as well. That might be a potential solution. The reason why the reserve is there, though, is to add security to the network. But nonetheless, folks, to tie this whole thing back, a tremendous amount of utility and developer activity is starting to explode on the XRP ledger. Don't listen to any of these complainers and whiners. Some of these developers been chirping. They don't get money from Ripple. They're crying about this, crying about that. You know, you're early on Metaverse. You're early on, and nobody wants your crappy JPEGs. I'm sorry. You haven't proven, made a viable business yet. It's not Ripple's fault. It's not the XRP ledger's fault. It's not crypto's fault. It's that nobody wants to go hang out in the metaverse yet. And I'm speaking generally. Obviously, there's a few people that want to go hang out in the metaverse. But for mass adoption, for you to be able to show up to every VC in the country and to get them to want to invest in your metaverse project, you're way early. So don't come back and blame the XRP ledger. It's like the same folks that are having tough times going on in life. Their girlfriend leaves them and they want to come back and blame XRP. Oh, if XRP had just gone up, maybe I'd be able to keep my girlfriend. Maybe you would have. Okay. But your poor attitude is not a reflection of XRP fundamentals. Your poor attitude and lack of business acumen is not a reflection of the XRP ledger, for those that are complaining, right? So I've been shutting them out. I would encourage you guys to do the same. We need to be focused and locked in right now on what we are going to be building. And I'm telling you right now, the XRP ledger, with XRP not being a currency, all of the utilities coming at the protocol level, we are about to be in the clear, while the rest of the space still has a very, very dark cloud over it. With that being said, folks, I'm going to wrap up this session. If you appreciate the updates, boy, does it feel good to be back in action. Please make sure you smash it. Head on over to my website, ZachRector.com, and you can check out all of our community resources for getting precious metals, cryptocurrency, wallets, the whole 9 yards. We got it all for you. And you can also get in touch with me over there at ZachRector.com. God bless you all. We'll see you in the next one. I am your host, Zach Rector. I really appreciate all of the love and support. If you want to support the channel, just remember that you can start by smashing that thumbs up for me, sharing this content far and wide, and everything else is at my website.